Good evening and welcome. Tonight, we are going to explore a bunch of regions in Seychelles. If you're new here, first of all, welcome. Second of all, this is an ongoing series on my channel where we're exploring every little corner, department, state, territory, province, county, etc. of the world in alphabetical order. So, Seychelles has 4 areas that start with Anse, which means bay in French. So we're going to look at those today. We are going to start off with, my little marker just disappeared, Anse down here. Anse Boileau. Anse Etoile, which is up here. And Anse Royale. Now normally I would go over the history of these regions, but I've got nothing for you in these parts of Seychelles. Seychelles' is amazing history, has nothing to do with these regions. So I'll let you know that it was a French territory, later a British colony. They are now independent. They are their own country. But with lots of that French and British historical mush on these beautiful islands. Now they're big vacation spots, big resort spots, but not the places we're going to look at tonight. We're going to look at some obscure spots of Seychelles. First, I'm going to zoom out so you can see exactly where we are in the world. You can see lots of other islands there that is part of Seychelles. But we are in the Indian Ocean. Seychelles is part of Africa. So you can see Madagascar's here. And we have the Swahili coast just over here. And just over there we have the Indian subcontinent. So we are right smack dab here in the Indian Ocean. And we are on the main island of Mahe, where you can see the capital city of Victoria is up there. But we're not going to talk about Victoria tonight. We're going to talk about these little corners here, and we're going to look at them on Google Earth. First up, we have Anse au Pain. I assume it's pronounced. I assume in Seychellois, which is their form of French Creole. They pronounce it a little differently, but I know French. My French teacher was from Paris, so I speak that kind of French. So that's how I'm going to pronounce things. But we can see a nice little slideshow here of the beach. I was trying to look up information on Seychelles' websites, and there's one, it was like Seychelles.com, I think, that rated all their beaches, and they're like, Anse au Pain is terrible. Apparently it's just not a great beach to go to. But it is a beach nonetheless, isn't it? It's still very pretty, I think. It's still the Indian Ocean. It's still lovely. But yeah, it's just a little corner where not much is going on. You can see we've got the little village down here. But what I think is interesting is that this region has this island attached to it. This is Soleil Island, which means Sun Island. And if you look up here, there's the airport. You can see these little man-made islands being created in the same style that Dubai and Bahrain, all that's been doing. Look at that. It's very luxurious. So, when they are plotting out islands, the, I assume, governor, whoever was in charge of Anse au Pain, said, I want one. So they built that. There's a little road going to it. But there's no slideshows or anything. It just looks like it's, I don't know, a couple of fancy places and a bunch of trees. Pretty cool, I think. So that's Anse au Pain. Let's move over to Anse Boileau, which was named after a French guy. I'm trying to remember. I can't read my notes because I'm in the dark. And some of you like these dark videos. I'm glad because I think they're fun. I think it adds a little bit more ASMR to it, just to see the He brought over a treaty of some kind to create, I assume, a more structured government of Seychelles. My stomach's growling. It's time for breakfast. The website I was at also rated this beach as a big stinker. They're like, it's pretty, but there's way better beaches. It was a brutally honest website. But you know, it's still nice. It's still the Seychelles. Like, come on. Here we have Anse Beach, which looks very pretty from above. They were like very bad for swimming. You can't take your boats out because you can see all this coral here. But I still think it's pretty. I think it's lovely. It's a tropical beach. Like, come on. So it was one of those like, yeah, don't come here unless you have to, because there's better beaches. But I think it's nice. The locals consider this a fishing village. Apparently the people here make most of their money off of fishing, which makes sense. You can see some big hills here. Let's put it in 3D. Lots of big hills here. And that's Anse. That's pretty much it. A little river there. I'm ready for breakfast. It's so early in the morning. Can you see it's 5:21 a.m. I think I'm gonna make some eggs after. You can see all this green space too as part of Anse. Next we're going to head over to Anse Etoile, which is actually pretty interesting. We're going to pass Victoria and head over to Anse Etoile. Waiting for something to pop up. Anse Etoile Beach. But this area is Anse Etoile. Let me just, there you go, Anse Etoile up here. Much more populated, as you can see. Very hilly too, isn't it? And these islands out here, I believe, are also man-made islands. They're not part of Anse Etoile. But yeah, lots of people here, and from what I've seen on various websites, it's a big hiking place. Like, you can come here and have some great hikes. This place over here is called Maldive Village, so I assume maybe, I tried reading about it but got nothing, that maybe Maldivian people live here, or maybe it's just called that. I don't know. I wish I knew. But yeah, this area is known for hiking. But let's finish off this video down here. Oops. In Anse Royale, which, from what I've read, is like out of these four is the best one. In terms of everything, in terms of nature, in terms of the beach, in terms of the culture and things down here. You can see lots of farms over here. Isn't that interesting? And of all kinds too. So you can see like some aquaculture. It looks like, I want to say those look like solar farms, but they're probably like roofed of some kind. Farms of all sorts over here. Along this beautiful water here. How lovely is that? There's a little town, and this is where we have Seychelles University. University of Seychelles is here. And all the little villages there. Apparently the local nickname of this corner is Fairyland, which is really sweet. These beaches are much more highly praised, but a lot of the slideshows here show you this island here, Sui, which is a little rocky little post. Lots of cool little formations. It feels very desert island, Robinson Crusoe. There's Anse Royale from up Wi-Fi. Someone had a lot of fun with their drone at this place. It looks so beautiful though. Look at that. Oh, it's a little paradise. Lots of rich and famous people vacation at Seychelles. It's a little tucked away corner. And very private at some parts. But, yeah, this place seems a little magical, doesn't it? You can see why it's called Fairyland. So pretty from afar. I could spend a long time there, I think. I could spend a couple days chilling there if I had some food. My phone, so I can listen to K-pop, because I listen to K-pop every day. And just the beach, I'd be very content. But yeah, we can look at this beach slideshow, but like I said, most of the pictures are of that little place anyway. Like, it's just very peaceful, very rocky. But look at this, that's like a screensaver, my goodness. Do you guys watch any of those ambient ASMR videos where it's just noise and then they have like a digitally made little experience? It looks like that. This doesn't look real. This looks like it was made on a computer. It's so pretty. I fall asleep to those every now and then. But I want to come here like these people. I want to come to this part of Seychelles. It seems very like, local, like not as touristy, like you could get more of an authentic experience here of what the island culture's like while being on this gorgeous beach. Oh, look at that. I would spend an afternoon in that hammock for sure. How fortunate these students are. What a neat place to go to university. But I'm going to end this video by showing you this botanical garden. It's so gorgeous. The flowers here are unreal. Look at this bird of paradise. My stomach's about to crawl again. So I'm going to do the outro. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy this style of content, please consider subscribing. Next, we're going to hop over to the other side of the world, to St. Lucia. Look at this tortoise. Seychelles is very famous for its giant tortoises. So be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out. I hope that you found this video relaxing and educational, even though it was a bit short. I did try, you guys, to find anything about these places, and that's all I've got for you. Not the most interesting parts of Seychelles, but so beautiful nonetheless, because it's Seychelles, dude. It's one of the most beautiful corners of the world. I'm trying to see what's in here. I can't tell. Somebody, maybe a little sleeping reptile.